Brandon in New York. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and we're going to take a look at the books of Vernon Warren, and specifically his series of thrillers about Mark Brandon. Now, Mark Brandon is a hard-boiled Chicago private eye, and it's interesting books. It's a series of books. There's at least 7 in the series of Mark Brandon books, and then there's other ones that Vernon Warren wrote. Vernon Warren was a British writer, and here's a picture of him, what he looked like. Mark Brandon, I don't know what to exactly say about him. He's kind of like a British version of Spillane or Sam Spade. It's written by a British guy about an American Chicago private eye, and in the first book, he comes over to New York he's involved in a murder case, and he has to clear a young man of murder of this woman. And while he does the investigation, you follow him, all the different things that he's doing on this twisty, narrowy, weird case, and it's very interesting. Brandon is a tough guy, wisecracking, aggressive. He's a guy that likes to fight. He likes to get into fights. He gets beat up. He beats up guys. He's a troublemaker. He's just quite the interesting character.
He hates cops too, right?
He hates the cops. He has trouble with the cops all the time. And the cops, and the cops in these books are all tough guy cops. They take you in the back room and they beat you up with the rubber hose, or they give you the workout, or the third degree.
The third degree.
And all that stuff happens in these books, and it's like some nasty stuff. The only thing that I didn't like about the books is that they're written in the first person, which is fine. Brandon's telling his story, but the way that the author, Vernon Warren, writes the text, he uses all of the colloquialisms that everything, so instead of saying maybe, he goes mebbe, M-E-B-B-E, or things like that are so liberally appear in the books, that kind of give it a pulpy, I don't know, maybe not exactly American, British kind of feel to it. It doesn't seem, some of it doesn't seem right. I guess he's kind of imitating what he thinks a tough guy American would be like. And in a lot of it, he gets it right. I mean, in Brandon in New York, he describes a lot of the New York, the way New York is situated, the streets and the buildings and everything, the underbelly of the city. And also there's a part of the book takes place in Coney Island. So he knows all about New York, Brooklyn, Coney Island area, and all of that stuff. So he's got all that stuff right. And he's got a lot of stuff right. So he's pretty good. I like the stories because he's a tough guy, hard-boiled. They call it a Mark. This is the first book, Brandon in New York. They have great covers, and it's Mark Brandon thriller, but he's really Mark Brandon, hard-boiled private eye, Chicago private eye. And this time he's from Chicago. He's in New York. All these books, there's 7 Brandons in the series, and there's others that Warren wrote. These are all British editions. Almost all of these are Thriller book club editions, but they're really nice. They all came out in the 50s, and a couple of them are first editions from Gifford's, this is the first edition from Gifford's, and Mark Brandon thriller. They're great cover art. It's Gifford's. This is from 1954. This is what these look like. Yeah, 1954. And again, there's the author on the back cover. But most of these book club editions, they have the same covers as the first editions, but they're really nice. Covers art is great. I'm just going to look through a few of them, show you them now. So, let's see. This is the Blue Mauritius. And Brandon in New York. Brandon Returns. This is the book club of that Blue Mauritius. It doesn't have, so it has on the back cover, which all the book clubs have. You know, they advertise new books in the Thriller Book Club series. One of them, James Hadley Chase. I wish I had that. And another Brandon book. So these are pretty cool. This is a first edition, John Gifford, Stop Over Danger. Very Heed-like cover. Another one is Brandon Takes Over. And again, it's the book club edition. These are all book club editions. Invitation to Kill. And 3 Steps to Hell. I mean, like, so what's going on? He's fighting this guy, he's punching him, this guy's going to hit him over the head with a gun, that guy's pulling a gun and going to shoot him. I mean, this like, and this is like the kind of stuff that goes on in these books. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. They're crazy. It's like, he likes to get in fights with everybody. And he, instead of sitting, and he'll even talk about it, he says, like, I could have sat down and talked nice to him, but I didn't really want to. You know, I didn't like the guy. I wanted to slug him. He wanted to slug me. So I says, let's slug each other. You know, and it's like crazy. But, you know, kind of in those days, I guess that was kind of, you know, there was a thing. I remember when I was young, we used to get together, us and our friends and stuff. And we used to just have fights. We used to like play fight because it was like, hey, we got nothing to do today. We can play baseball, we could play football, or we could just have some fights. And we'd have like, you know, go fight each other. And sometimes you get like a black eye and you lose a tooth.
Very nice.
And yeah, but then afterwards, you know what, the fight is over, everybody shakes hands and it's okay. And it says, wow, that was a really good fight, you know. But that's kind of like what these books are like. No Bouquets for Brandon. Really good hard-boiled cover art on these, though. I really like them. Appointment in Hell. Good hard-boiled titles, too. Run Around, Mark Brandon thriller. Girl's got the gun on him. By Fair Means or Foul. And Farewell by Death. And the last one is Backlash. The guy's pulling the gun out of his pants. So that's Vernon Warren. I think, his books were reprinted in digit paperbacks, but I think he's a kind of a forgotten mystery crime writer these days. These books all came out in the 50s. From like around 53, 54 to 59 or 60. And they're pretty good. The thing is that they're pulpy, they're not great literature, but they're entertaining for sure. And funny thing is like when I was reading Brandon in New York, you know, it's like I couldn't stop reading it. It was like compelling. I just kept on. I wanted to see what happens next because there's always something happening next that's interesting and that pulls the reader into wanting to read more. So I'll say, I'm going to read this, and then I says, I got to read like 3 or 4 more pages to find out what happens. Then when I read those 3 or 4 more pages, I say, I got to read 3 or 4 more. And before you know it, I finished the book, and I says, that was pretty good. Not great literature, but entertaining and fun, and a little wacky. You know, it's just a little. This guy likes to fight with everybody. He likes to fight with the cops. He likes to. He's just a little bit out of control, but interesting guy, and basically a good guy who wants to solve the case. And these are fun books. So I hope you enjoy this look, and maybe, who knows, maybe Vernon Warren will get a resurgence in interest because of this, because I think these books are worth reading and they are fun. So with that, I bid you a fond adieu, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for looking.